We are live. We'll give it a couple of minutes to let some people jump on, as we always do. We're live on YouTube. What's happening? We're live on Facebook. Just double checking. Yep, live on Facebook. I'm live on Instagram. Cool. Right. I feel again like it's been fucking forever since I've done one of these. It's only been a couple of weeks, really. So doing one live a week, one podcast episode a week, and majorly busy week last week, so I didn't get one done. But I'm here today, and I've got a good one for you guys as well today. So, right, let's give it 60 seconds. Let some people jump on. We've got some people jumping on now on Instagram. What's happening, team? So, a couple on Facebook. Guys, on Instagram and Facebook, just leave me an emoji in the comments just to let me know that you can hear me and you can see me okay before we get into it. I've not done an episode yet. Touch wood. This won't be the one where I've talked and I've got to the end and no one's been like, I can't fucking hear you, mate. That would be a bit of a bitch, wouldn't it? Right, guys watching on the replay as well, please give me a hashtag replay just so I know how many people do watch the replays. We will get into it very, very shortly. Cool. Right, let's go now. We'll let it populate as we go along. Right, let's hit record. 3, 2, 1. Yes, team, welcome to another episode of the Type 1 Movement Podcast. With me, your boy, your host, Type 1 Tom. And in this episode today, I'm going to be talking about navigating your diabetes when trying something new. And giving you a little bit of, basically what I've done every time since been a Type 1 when I've tried something new that I've never done before. Before we get into it, please do leave me a rating and a review on the podcast app, as it does help me reach more Type 1 diabetics and positively impact our community. As I always say, I run no paid advertising, anything at all to this podcast. It's just all from you guys and word of mouth, so I really do appreciate that. Also, whatever device or platform you're listening to on, give it a screenshot, share it on your Instagram stories, tag me at Type1_Tom. Feel free to give it a share on Facebook as well. When I do these lives, I'm live on, when I'm recording this podcast, I also go live. I'm live on Instagram, I'm live on YouTube, I'm live on Facebook. Over the coming weeks, I've tried to dabble in YouTube before, but over the coming weeks, I'm probably going to be going in pretty heavy on my YouTube because I like being on video. I like talking, as you can probably fucking tell. That's why I do the podcast. And YouTube is a place for this. So if you've not got me on YouTube, you're not subscribed to my channel, go over there, just type in Type 1 Tom, go and subscribe to my channel. I've dabbled in it a little bit before, and I did a couple of a day in the life videos, and a lot of people who watched it got quite a lot of views in comparison to these sort of videos. And everyone said they got a lot of information from it, some actionable tips and tricks, and just enjoy being nosy bastards, which we all do, and seeing a day in the life of me and a Type 1 diabetics and how I manage shit. So it's like a vlog style. So I think I'm going to be starting going in because I really enjoy doing that pretty heavily on that. So again, a bit of a prompt, bit of a plug. If you're not got me on YouTube, go and search Type 1 Tom. Go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So, right, let's get into what I want to speak about today. And this is navigating your diabetes when you're trying something new. Now, I'm a big believer that as a Type 1 diabetic, this should not hold us back from doing anything that we want with our lives. I actually got a question on my Instagram when I sometimes put up a Q&A. Someone said, do you think there's anything that we can't do as Type 1 diabetics? And you know what? I don't think there is. Maybe there might be, but I don't think there is anything that a non-Type 1 can do that we should be able to do besides fucking produce insulin, right? I think we should be able to do whatever we want in life. And I don't think us worrying about what certain things are going to do to our blood glucose levels should stop us from doing whatever we want to do. Yeah? Guys on the live, leave me a fire emoji in the comments if you agree with that. I don't think being a Type 1 diabetic should stop us from doing anything that we want to do in life. I do, however, understand how it can be really fucking worrying for us as Type 1s when we're trying something new that we've never done before because we worry about what it's going to do to our blood glucose levels. That's the main worry, right? Isn't it? When we're trying something new, we're worried, is it going to spike me? Is it going to drop me? What the fuck? Like, what's it going to do to my levels? That is the main worry. I don't think there's any other worries about it. If we're coming in, let's say there's so many things that I'll get onto short that I've tried that's new, but let's say you're going for a run, you've never ran before, you're like, fucking hell, what is it going to cause me a spike? Is it going to cause me a drop? And this worry can put a lot of Type 1s off actually doing shit that they want to enjoy. Let's say you might want to go skydiving, but you're like, oh, fucking hell, what if I get a hypo when I'm, on the way down and stuff? Do you know what I mean? It's this sort of worry. And this is why I wanted to do this episode. I'm going to link this to a few things that I've done since being a type 1. I was diagnosed at nearly I'm 21 now. I'm fucking being generous to myself. Diagnosed at 21, 35. There's a lot of stuff I've done in that time frame whilst being a type 1 diabetic, right? And a few of the basic things, it could be anything. It could be a certain exercise. It could be an event. It could be learning a new skill, whatever it is. For me, lifting weights and going to the gym, I'd done that before being diagnosed. After I was diagnosed, I was like, fucking hell, like, what's it going to do to my blood glucose levels? Cycling, I love riding my road bike, love cycling. There was the first time that I had to do that when I was a type 1, and I was a little bit worried about what it did to my levels. Running was one for me. Drinking alcohol can fall into this category as well. I speak to a lot of type 1s who don't really drink, or they've not drank since they've been diagnosed. And they're like, I'm really worried because this will be the first time having alcohol, and I don't know what it's going to do to my levels. Eating a certain food could be, yeah. And for me, the most recent one was learning a new skill of being able to ride a motorbike. Quick update on that, because I know my last podcast was about failing my test. I did actually pass my test last week, got myself a motorbike, and yeah, I'm just fucking super buzzing with it. Really, really happy. So yeah, I did say on the last one that I was going to fucking pass, hopefully second time, and I did. So, but this has kind of linked me to this, because learning a new skill or doing anything for the first time can be a little bit more, it's a bit worry. It could cause anxiety with any human. Takes that one out of the equation. You're doing something you've never done before. Do you know what I mean? It's going to cause a bit of worry and anxiety, but then add managing our blood glucose levels on top of that, it can start to really worry us a little bit, cause some anxiety even more. And with some type 1s, can be like, well, I'm not going to do that. It's causing a bit too much stress. And I don't think we should live our life that way. We need to understand that doing certain things will have, like riding a motorbike, learn how to ride a motorbike. It's physical, and also, I was a bit fucking scared. That is going to have some physiological response on your body, which is probably going to alter your blood glucose levels in some way. Like lifting weights, yeah? Like an argument and that. Most things that have some sort of response in our body will alter our blood glucose levels. Most things. Yeah, most things. So I want to give you guys like a sort of big tip and a sort of mindset shift that I use when I'm trying anything new. I used this when I first started lifting weights through being diagnosed. I used it the first time I went out on the bike. Didn't go very well, but I used it, and it worked now because I know what I'm doing with it. I used it on my first run, when I drank alcohol, pretty much with anything. And I didn't change anything. Anything with my insulin, any food or anything like that. I didn't change anything. And by this, here's an example. Let's say I say, oh, running drops me, which it does. And you're like, right, running drops Tom. I've never ran before. I'm going to go on a run. I know it drops Tom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my insulin off, or I'm going to set a temp basal. If I'm on an insulin pump, I'm going to set a temp basal rate. You go and do that on the first time that you're doing something, but let's say it doesn't drop you. Then what are you going to do? You've changed something based on what someone else has said without any hard data. And I'm big on this with clients as well. I hate trying to say to people, I think you should go and do this or X, Y, and Z without us changing all these things. We go and do it. We've got no hard data. So what I like to do when it's the first time doing something, I do this when riding my push bike, running, is I don't change anything. And I use that first thing as a test. I even did this when I was drinking. I didn't change anything. If I drink ales and stuff like that or beers, I know I need some insulin with it. But the first few drinks that I had, I didn't, and I got a spike. That way I knew I needed insulin with it. The first time I went out on the push bike, I had to keep stopping. I smashed a full packet of Jelly Babies. I knew next time I had to decrease my basal rate on my pump next time I went out. Same with running. With lifting weights, it caused me to spike. I knew next time I was just going to play around and give myself a small bolus. If I would have gone in first and tried making all these adjustments and changes without any data, knowing what this specific thing was going to do to my blood glucose levels, I would have been not in a lot of trouble, but I would have changed things without having any hard data. So that is the biggest advice I can give you. If you're going doing something new for the first time, personally, I wouldn't change anything. And I'd use it as a test. That's what I do. Use it as a test. So like when I first got on the motorbike, it was fucking scary, man. Like I'd never ridden a motorbike before properly. It was scary. You know what? It did cause me to spike because scary physiological response is stress, liver pushes out glucose, and it caused me to spike and run a bit on higher end. Now I'm a bit more confident with it. It doesn't impact my blood glucose levels. So you will get things that you first do that might impact your blood glucose levels because it's new to you. But once you get confident and comfortable, they might not impact your blood glucose levels. I always like to use this example with my clients. And let's go back to running or cycling. Let's say you've never ran or cycled properly before, and you go and do it and you're not very efficient at it, and it impacts your blood glucose levels in some way, shape, or form. Lifting weights could be like this. Yeah. It impacts your blood glucose levels, but then you get better and more efficient at something. It might not then impact your blood glucose levels, if that makes sense. So I would always start by not changing anything, and I'd view the first thing as a test. Use it as a test. And I always say this to clients, I do this on myself. Use it as a test. Make sure you're super fucking diligent with testing your blood glucose levels around it as well. I am. Whenever I do something new, you can fucking guarantee I'm testing before, I'm testing during if possible, or if I feel a little bit funny, and I'm testing after as well. I'm keeping a good fucking eye on my glucose levels because I'm changing my normal routine and I want to know what's going to go in my blood glucose levels. Yeah. A big thing for this was the first time I was actually driving a car as well was another thing. I could already drive, but I remember being diagnosed, and when I had to go and drive my car, and I was so fucking diligent with testing my blood glucose levels. We all should be. I still test before I get in the car. If I feel funny, I'll pull over and test. Yeah, but at first, when I was trying something new, when I'd just been diagnosed, driving my car, I was testing a hell of a lot. A hell of a lot. Because I think things like that we can be scared of as well. Like come down to riding a motorbike. What if we're having a low and we're operating a vehicle? This shouldn't really be happening. And we can prevent things like that from making sure we're testing a lot and testing before we actually get on or in the vehicle as well. But a bit of a sidetrack there, but a little tip that I use. So with that, the thing is with this, don't let being a type 1 hold you back from doing anything that you want to do. And don't try and predict what this certain thing is going to do to your blood glucose levels. You can't predict the future. Best thing you can do is just not change anything. Go in, see it as a test, do it, get the data. Then for next time, you'll have that solid data, knowing what it's going to do with your levels, and then you can make the necessary adjustments. The only time that I would adjust something is if you confidently know it's going to do a certain thing to your blood glucose levels, and you think it will be safer to adjust something. That's the only time that I recommend adjusting something. Yeah. But it's like with me, when I first started riding my push bike, I was like, nah, you know what? It's probably going to drop me, but I'm not going to set a decrease of 10 basal rate. I'm going to go out, I'm going to do the ride. I'm going to see if I'm right. And I was right because, like I say, I smashed a full fucking packet of jelly babies. I had to keep stopping. And now I'm pretty confident with it. I can manage it. But that's only come over time. And that's another thing. So a big thing, two things take away. One, don't let being a type 1 hold you back from doing anything in life. Go and try new shit. Because if you don't, you are never going to know. The only way you're going to know is just go and do it. And two, personally, I wouldn't change anything until I get the hard, solid data. I wouldn't change things off a prediction of what I think is going to happen. I like hard, solid data to say, right, well, this drops me. Next time I'm going to do a 10 basal rate. Or I'm going to eat if I'm on pens or something like that. This causes a spike. Right, cool. I might need to increase my basal rate or I might need to give a bolus. But we don't have that data unless we actually go and do it. Yeah. Team, that is it. That's basically the sort of mindset that I have when I try anything new as a type 1, because I think it will always be in the back of our mind. It'll always be in the back of our mind. Like if we're trying something new, I know for me, the first thing is, what's it going to do to my blood glucose levels? And I know a lot of you guys are the same in that. Team, that is it. If you got value from this episode, please leave me a rating and a review on the podcast app, because as I said at the start, it really does help me reach more type 1 diabetics and positively impact our community. Until the next episode, have a fucking great day. Peace. Right. Does anyone have any questions? I'm going to give it 30 seconds. If anyone has any questions, you can type them in. Have a quick scan through Instagram. Got a few emojis going. Thank you. All right, Charlie. Hope you're good, buddy. Right. Cool. Right, gang. I'm going to leave it there then. Hopefully you guys got some value from this live. Like I say, just a couple of things that I like to use. And the main thing is go and fucking try new shit. Don't let the worry of what it's going to do to your blood glucose levels hold you back in life from trying new shit. Yeah. Cool. Right, team, that is it. And thank you very much for tuning in, for watching. Until the next live, have a fucking great day. Peace.